Slowly, the vibrant greens of summer were giving way to a symphony of reds, oranges, and yellows. Each leaf seemed to tell a story of the changing season, a testament to the beauty of nature's cycle. The transformation was mesmerizing, a visual feast that captured the essence of autumn. Windcrest was ablaze with color. From above, the town looked like a patchwork quilt, each tree a different shade, creating a stunning mosaic. The streets were lined with trees that seemed to be on fire, their leaves glowing in the sunlight. It was as if the entire town had been painted in the warm hues of fall. Red, orange, and yellow leaves fell from the trees. They drifted gently to the ground, creating a soft, colorful carpet. Each leaf's descent was a graceful dance, a final performance before becoming part of the earth once more. The park was a haven of tranquility, where one could lose themselves in the simple beauty of falling leaves. They danced on the crisp autumn air. The wind played with the leaves, lifting them up and swirling them around in a playful ballet. It was a sight that brought joy to the heart, a reminder of the carefree days of childhood. The leaves seemed to have a life of their own, moving to the rhythm of the wind. The wind whistled through the town. It rustled the leaves and swayed the branches, creating a symphony of sounds that was both soothing and invigorating. The wind carried with it the promise of change, a reminder that nothing stays the same forever. It was a time of transition, a time to embrace the new season. It carried the scent of pumpkin spice and wood smoke. The air was filled with the comforting aromas of autumn, evoking memories of cozy evenings and warm gatherings. The scent of pumpkin spice lattes wafted from the local cafe, mingling with the earthy smell of wood smoke from chimneys. It was a sensory delight that made one feel at home. Children laughed as they played in piles of leaves. Their laughter was infectious, a pure expression of joy that echoed through the crisp air. They jumped into the piles with abandon, sending leaves flying in all directions. It was a scene of pure happiness, a reminder of the simple pleasures of life. Squirrels gathered acorns for the coming winter. They scurried about, busy with their preparations, their cheeks stuffed with acorns. It was a time of plenty, and the squirrels worked diligently to store enough food to last through the cold months. Their industriousness was a testament to the cycle of life, a reminder of the importance of preparation. Autumn had arrived in Windcrest, bringing its magic with it. The town was transformed, each street and corner adorned with the colors of fall. It was a time of beauty and wonder, a season that invited reflection and appreciation. The magic of autumn was in the air, and Windcrest was the perfect place to experience it. The air was cool and crisp. Each breath was invigorating, a reminder of the freshness of the season. People walked through the park, their breath visible in the cool air, enjoying the simple pleasure of a brisk autumn day. The coolness was a welcome change, a refreshing break from the heat of summer. The days were getting shorter, the sun set earlier, casting long shadows in the afternoon. It was a time of transition, a reminder that winter was on its way. The shorter days brought a sense of urgency, a need to make the most of the daylight hours. It was a time to savor the beauty of autumn before it was gone. The nights were growing longer. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the town was enveloped in darkness. The longer nights brought a sense of calm, a time to rest and reflect. It was a time to gather with loved ones, to share stories and create memories. The longer nights were a reminder of the cycle of life, a time to embrace the quiet moments. It was a time for cozy sweaters and hot chocolate. The chill in the air made it the perfect season for bundling up in warm clothes and enjoying a hot drink. Families gathered around the fireplace, sharing stories and laughter. It was a time of togetherness, a season that brought people closer. It was also a time for adventure. The crisp air and vibrant colors invited exploration. Children ran down paths, their faces alight with excitement. They explored the forest, discovering the wonders of nature. It was a time of discovery, a season that encouraged curiosity and wonder. Autumn in Windcrest was a magical time, a season that brought joy and beauty to all who experienced it. Lily, Max, and Sam were best friends. They lived in Windcrest. Lily loved to read. She dreamed of faraway lands. Max loved to explore. He was always looking for something new. Sam loved to imagine. He was full of stories and ideas. The trio craved adventures. They yearned for something extraordinary. They wanted to discover something magical. Little did they know, their adventure was about to begin. One afternoon, the friends went to the woods. They wanted to play in the fallen leaves. They kicked up piles of leaves. They chased each other through the trees. They laughed and played. As the sun began to set, they noticed something strange. A path shimmered in the woods. It was faint, but it was there. It seemed to beckon them closer. Curiosity got the better of them. They decided to follow it. The path led them deeper into the woods. Soon they came to a clearing. In the center stood a giant oak tree. It was the tallest tree they had ever seen. As they got closer, they noticed something amazing. An invisible ladder spiraled up the trunk. It seemed to glow faintly. It felt warm to the touch. This was no ordinary tree. This was magic. In the heart of the forest, hidden away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, there stood a treehouse that seemed to be plucked straight out of a fairy tale. This was no ordinary treehouse. It was a place where dreams and reality intertwined. Straight out of a fairy tale. This was no ordinary treehouse. It was a place where dreams and reality intertwined. With a mix of fear and excitement, they climbed the ladder. Each step was a new adventure, a new challenge to overcome. The ladder creaked under their weight, but it held firm, as if encouraging them to keep going. Up and up they went. The higher they climbed, the more the world below seemed to fade away. The leaves rustled around them, whispering secrets of the forest. The air grew cooler, and the scent of pine filled their lungs. The climb felt like forever. Their arms ached and their legs trembled, but they were determined. They knew that something extraordinary awaited them at the top. The anticipation was almost too much to bear. Finally, they reached the top. As they pulled themselves onto the platform, they were greeted by a sight that took their breath away. The treehouse stood majestically among the branches, a sanctuary in the sky. There, nestled among the branches, was a treehouse. It was as if the tree itself had grown around it, cradling it in its ancient limbs. The structure seemed to blend seamlessly with its surroundings, a natural extension of the forest. It was like nothing they had ever seen before. The walls were adorned with intricate carvings of woodland creatures, and the roof was covered in a thick layer of moss. It was a place of wonder and enchantment. It was made of leaves and branches. Every detail seemed to be crafted with care and love. The leaves formed a natural canopy, providing shelter from the elements, while the branches created a sturdy framework. It had windows made of sparkling dewdrops. The sunlight filtered through them, casting a kaleidoscope of colors inside. It was as if the treehouse was alive, breathing and shimmering with magic. It glowed with a warm, inviting light. The glow seemed to beckon them inside, promising warmth and comfort. It was a beacon of hope in the vast wilderness. The friends had found something truly magical. They knew that this treehouse was more than just a structure. It was a gateway to endless adventures and possibilities. It was a place where their imaginations could run wild, where they could be anything they wanted to be. In that moment, they felt a sense of wonder and excitement that they would carry with them forever. Section 6. The Owl and the Sprites. In a land where magic and wonder intertwined, there stood an ancient treehouse, hidden deep within an enchanted forest. This treehouse was no ordinary dwelling. It was a place where the extraordinary came to life. As they stepped inside, they were greeted by a wise old owl. The children, wide-eyed with curiosity, marveled at the sight before them. The treehouse was filled with an air of mystery and enchantment, and the owl seemed to be the keeper of its secrets. He was perched on a branch. He wore tiny spectacles. His feathers were a mix of soft browns and whites, giving him an air of wisdom and age. The spectacles perched on his beak added to his scholarly appearance, making him look like a professor from a magical academy. He seemed to be expecting them. His eyes, large and round, held a twinkle of amusement and knowledge. It was as if he knew the children had a special role to play in the unfolding adventure. The owl introduced himself as Professor Sophocles. His voice was gentle yet authoritative, resonating with the wisdom of countless years. "Welcome, young adventurers," he said. "I have been waiting for you." He told them they were in for a treat. "Today," he continued, "you will meet the guardians of this magical place. They are playful, mischievous, and full of surprises." Mischievous cloud sprites flitted around the room. These tiny ethereal beings moved with a grace that seemed almost otherworldly. Their laughter filled the air, creating a symphony of joy and mischief. They giggled and played pranks. One sprite tugged at a child's hair, while another made funny faces. Their antics were harmless, meant to amuse and delight rather than cause any real trouble. The sprites were as light as feathers. They sparkled like diamonds. Their wings shimmered with every movement, casting tiny rainbows across the room. It was a sight that left the children in awe. The sprites were the guardians of the treehouse. Despite their playful nature, they took their role seriously. They protected the treehouse from any harm, ensuring that it remained a sanctuary of magic and wonder. The children knew they were in a special place, a place where dreams and reality intertwined. Section 7, Hrogar's Garden. Professor Sophocles led them to a door. It opened onto a balcony. The balcony overlooked a breathtaking sight. Below them was a garden. It was filled with flowers of every color imaginable. Butterflies danced among the blooms. A gentle giant named Hrogar cared for the garden. He was as tall as a mountain. He had a heart of gold. Hrogar smiled at the children. He welcomed them to his garden. Section 8, the Hidden Waterfall. The friends spent hours exploring the garden. They discovered hidden pathways. They found talking animals. They even found a waterfall. It was hidden behind a curtain of vines. The water sparkled like 1,000 diamonds. The friends swam in the cool, refreshing water. They laughed and played until the sun began to set. This was an adventure they would never forget. Section 9, Farewell to the Clouds. As the stars began to twinkle, it was time to go. The friends said goodbye to Professor Sophocles, the cloud sprites, and Hrogar. They promised to return soon. With heavy hearts, they climbed down the invisible ladder. The magic of the treehouse followed them. They could still feel it tingling in their fingers and toes. They knew they would carry this magic with them always. Section 10, Memories of Magic. They returned to the forest floor. The woods were dark and quiet. The friends walked home in silence. Their hearts were full. They had found adventure, magic, and friendship. They had memories that would last a lifetime. The next day, they told their friends about their adventure. No one believed them. But Lily, Max, and Sam knew the truth. They had seen the magic with their own eyes. Section 11, The Magic Within. From that day forward, Lily, Max, and Sam looked at the world differently. They knew that magic was real. They knew that adventure was everywhere. All they had to do was open their minds and their hearts. The treehouse in the clouds became their secret. It was a reminder that anything was possible. They just had to believe. The real magic was not in the treehouse. It was inside them all along.